Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Taurus collective in mid-June? It is still Gemini season at the moment of this filming. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in mid-June. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have some fun today, my good friends. Let's get this card out nice and quick. There we go. Cool. So what do we got? Oh, we got Lady Luck. All right, that's good. Was it you that got her recently as well? I know she rarely shows up, and somebody recently had her within the past couple of weeks. So if that's you, maybe it was Pisces, I'm not sure, but I'll take her anyway, right? This is a beautiful, beautiful way to start a reading, right? Even if we get some dicey stuff, it doesn't matter because we have Lady Luck on our side, right? Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, beautiful symbolism here. We have Lady Luck. She has all the different playing cards. She's got chips. We got four-leaf clovers. We got the 777 on the slot machine right there. So to me, this is very similar to the Wheel of Fortune, Lady Luck being on your side. Now, for some of you, it could just be like, yeah, all right. Well, you might be a little extra lucky in a few different areas in this time, or where certain things might just turn in your fashion or just go your way. If you've been dealing with something sticky, like luck might be on your side. I think this is beautiful. I always say you might want to try the lotto whenever she shows up in the front end of a reading, because I'd say out of all the cards in this oracle deck, she's probably the one that shows up the least by far compared to the others. So I'm always excited when she shows up. Again, it's very similar to the Wheel of Fortune, where it's just like super expansive. It could represent growth and abundance. It's very fast, very sudden. So luck could be on your side for a variety of different reasons. So that's a great way to begin. The only downside with Lady Luck is that you might have a few more risky inclinations than you usually do. So again, watch out for urges, watch out for testing your luck, watch out for being a daredevil, because this energy is willing to risk it for the biscuit, so to speak. But we're just going to let her chill out right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. Shuffle it up one time here for my Taurus friends. I'm pumped about that Lady Luck card. Yeah, while I get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Some pretty good energy last week. The reading was titled An Explosive Win. Beautiful. Very similar to this Lady Luck. Very sudden. Now, when it comes to wins, I always say they come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's monetary, sometimes you just have a couple of really good days, or you get a little luck on your side. It could be a lot of things, and to me, it just came in very sudden, very quick, very fast. So just know, even if you haven't had a win that fits that description, one could still be coming up for you, especially with her here. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my beautiful Taurus friends. What do we got? Thank you. Queen of Swords. Serious. Okay. I mean, you could be connected to an air sign, some of you. I like the Queen of Swords. I mean, she is an energy that is about her business, which is cool. Or let's get a couple more. Some people get a little on edge whenever they see her. I'm like, all right, no, she's cool. All right, Ace of Pentacles. You got some good energy, at least on the fringes, my good friends. So Ace of Pentacles, really nice. Let's get one more. Let's get one more here for my beautiful Taurus friends. Okay. Interesting double. Okay, so we got the Virgo card with the Hermit right here. Interesting. It's like a cat and mouse type of energy here on the back end. That's so unique. And you also have a very good bonus card So at least on the fringes, right? We got the Ten of Pentacles, the Oracle card, now this. It's like all the footnote cards are like some of the best possible. So there's like some really good energy available for a lot of Tauruses right now. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that paints a picture, tells us how comfortable or uncomfortable you might be with a specific energy or just how it's flowing. And we are definitely earth predominant, which is very, very good for a Taurus reading, right? We got a mixture of earth and we have air. Now, earth is your power element. That is your comfort zone, right? With the Ace of Pentacles, the Hermit, and then even your bonus. This is all earthy vibes. I think of results. I think of predictability. I think of stability. I think of security with these cards. There's something that could tie into routine, day to day life. It's always been this way. It'll always be this way. So I'm not sure if some of you are running on a stricter schedule. That could be very possible. But it could also be money, work, business, finance, home, family, investments, like you name it. All the material aspects of life are under the earth umbrella. The only downside to it, to me, is that it doesn't usually move too fast, right? So it's like the opposite of what we saw last week. This energy could either feel stuck or feel like it's not making any progress. So watch out for frustration when we have a lot of earth. But for a Taurus reading, this is just, I'm very comfortable. I feel like I'm in my comfort zone. Here on the front, we have air. That is a little bit outside of the comfort zone, right? Whereas all this is like very steady, calm, predictable. This the Queen of Swords with the air, very fast moving, very unpredictable, very flighty. Now, the good thing about the swords, it's logical, it's practical, it's straightforward to the point. She rules over communication. She could deal with either giving, receiving, or searching for information. Like, that's a big thing, information transfer. The downside to her is that sometimes she could represent overthinking, overcomplicating. She could also be very surgical, detached, and cold. So these are things to watch out for in this time because she is a different vibe than what we got going on over here. But yeah, there could be communication going on. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Queen of Swords. Now, you saw when she came out, I wasn't displeased by her because she could be very good. You might just be connected to an air sign, right? So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius could be any one of those, and it's not gender specific. And queens represent the internal aspect of their suit. We just went into some pretty good detail about the suit itself with the communication, the information. The thing I love about the Queen of Swords is she is no nonsense. She is honest, shrewd, straightforward to the point. What you see is what you get, super intelligent. She could represent absolutely strategy and planning. So like she does have a lot of really, really good sides to her, right? Just strong divine feminine energy. But the downside to the Queen of Swords, she could be mean. She could be hurtful. She could be overly critical. She could overthink. So these are things to watch out for in this time. Sometimes she does show up when there are things of seriousness that either need to be tended to or need your attention. And so again, whether it's a conversation, whether it's a situation, we need to look and see when she's here. But normally she is just an energy that's not messing around, right? Like she's just going to say like it is, what you see is what you get. She's got no time for BS. That's the thing I always say about the Queen of Swords. So we'll see what's up. Now moving to the middle, really like what I'm seeing. We have the Ace of Pentacles right next to her. And again, with the ace right here, she's like locked in on this Ace of Pentacles. I love it. Now, to me, the Ace of Pentacles, as with all aces, represent offers, opportunities. It's a fresh, new energy, and this one to me is like a golden opportunity from the universe where something just seems to fall in your lap. So that's beautiful. So especially with the other things, with this in the background, with the Lady Luck in the background, now the Ace of Pentacles, these are fantastic types of vibes. So again, there could be certain things that just fall into your lap. Now, the downside to all aces is that they're never guaranteed, right? Like sometimes you need to take some sort of action or you need to make some sort of movement when this card is here. It could just be a conversation as well. Like when we have the Queen of Swords who rules over information, Ace of Pentacles, they could be talks and messages. So we'll see what's up. But I'm feeling good about what we have on the front at the very least. This is an energy that's like I'm keeping my eyes on the prize, right? Like I'm staying focused. I'm staying focused on my goal. I'm staying focused on what I'm doing. I have my eyes on the prize. On the back end, we do have the Hermit, which does seem a little bit removed, right? Now, this is Virgo energy. It's not an energy that's coming forward. I can tell you that. The Hermit is retracted, pulled back, right? Now, it's not a bad thing, right? This card is very spiritual. It's filled with wisdom through experience. A lot of times this will show up when someone's been through a few things and they've been around the block and they've seen things happen, and it's like they could kind of predict what's going to happen. That's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of discernment with this card as well. So sometimes this could be someone mulling something over or thinking over. But aside from the beautiful spiritual stuff, the hermit is it in its solitude. It likes its solitude. It likes to have its own safe bubble area where it can just be alone for whatever reason. Now, in the difficult aspects, this could represent loneliness. This could represent isolation. This could represent missing someone. It could represent communication issues. But I find it interesting that we have the queen looking at this ace and hermit looking at this ace, and it's like they're both looking at the same thing, but from a distance. Like, it's interesting the way these two line up. So if there is going to be potential clunkiness, it may be coming from here. We'll see what's up. Now, on the back end for your bonus, we do have another very positive card. We got the Ten of Pentacles. This to me is, aside from home and family, it's an energy of growth and expansion and abundance. So I think that's really fantastic. Again, unless you're in full on pentacle mode, work mode, family mode, that could be part of it. But I just love it because it's growth. So I want to dive deeper on all of this, Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got? What do we got for Taurus? And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the queen. Let's see what she has. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Queen of Swords. What are you looking at? What are you planning? What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, this energy. I feel like I've seen this for you months ago, and it's like kind of similar again. So we have the Eight of Swords in reverse underneath this Queen of Swords, and it's like, yeah, I don't have time for that. Yeah, no, I don't have time for that. Like, it's an energy that's like, not messing around, not playing games, that's for sure, especially with the Eight of Swords in reverse. It's like, no, I can't be bothered with that. Can't be bothered with that right now. I'm very busy. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's kind of just letting something like slide off of its back. Now, in the positive aspect for Taurus, when I see the Queen of Swords, Eight of Swords in reverse, this is an energy that's really good about not letting outside circumstances bother it or stress it. So now is a great time to keep things in perspective and like, yeah, no, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'll tend to that when I have time for it. It's just a very unbothered type of energy, or not messing around type of vibe. In its rougher sense, like with the Queen of Swords, Eight of Swords, it's like, if there's anything that stresses me out too much, I'm going to cut it off. Right? Like, it is a very much like game over type of mode and mindset. Now, again, that could be you, that could be somebody else. It's a very low tolerance for BS or just not giving a lot of energy to certain things. So for some of you, that could be a fantastic thing. Fantastic thing. If that's someone you're connected to, that might be a little frustrating, right? Because it's like, okay, well, hey, do I exist here? Because like, this energy is just so unbothered. Now, the Eight of Swords, usually in the upright, it's stressed, it's anxious, it's nervous, it feels trapped, right? Sometimes this card can represent problems and funky situations. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Queen of Swords, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not paying attention to that. Nope, not even going to look at that. I'm going to keep looking at this Ace of Pentacles. I'm not looking at that. So again, that's the vibe. Now is a great time to act unbothered at the very least, or somebody is. We're going to keep moving. Or yes, it could just be some of you having no tolerance or very low tolerance for BS and games. Like I said, it's like very much game over type of energy. Let's keep moving. Let's see what's up with the Ace of Pentacles. That's unique. That's unique. So why is that there? Why is the Ace here for Taurus, please? Okay. Okay. So we have the Six of Cups in reverse underneath this Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, but I don't even know. Like, this is either one of two things, and they're both extremes, so you just take it how it hits for you. When I see the Six of Cups in reverse underneath a very fresh new card, that's the dynamic we're dealing with here. Because aces are fresh, new adventures, new cycles. Six of Cups represents the past. To me, it's either taking a brand new approach to an old situation where it's like, I've been through this before, let me try it again this way. Or it could be something popping back up, right? Like revisiting, returning. There is that strong energy here, and that's been across like the whole zodiac. I think I've seen it in every fire sign this week, whereas there's like this energy that's trying to revisit. Or it could be that stone cold refusing to go back to the past and just move forward to the future. So I guess it depends on where you're at, right? Because for some reason, I'm feeling like the Taurus collective is this Queen of Swords, where it's like, I'm not looking at this, I'm not looking at that. This is where I'm looking. I'm looking to the future. I'm looking to the horizon. I'm not messing around with any BS. Now, so that's the main vibe I'm picking up. Now, in this time, could there be a variety of different things, people, situations, cycles that try to swing back on you, try to hit you up with the Ace of Pentacles, the communication? Yeah, there could be a lot of things like trying to pop up or return out of the blue or revisit at the very least. So keep your eyes open for that. But then there's also this energy where it's like, nope, I'm only looking to the future. Now, if you do decide to revisit something in this time, there could be a good potential to approach it from a different angle. Like that's another thing I'm getting here where it's like, all right, I'm going to try it again, but this way. Or I'm going to give that another shot, but I'm going to try it this way. It's like we're taking a different angle on a similar situation. Let's keep going. That's very specific. Let's see what the Hermit has. So watch out for things popping back up, because I think you and the fire signs have that the strongest this week. So why is the Hermit here? It's been like all over the zodiac for weeks now, but like, why is the Hermit in the mix? And we'll do our recap. So let's get him going. Why is the Hermit here? Okay. This is a very patient, very, very patient type of card. So we have the three of wands in the upright. Like that's an energy that's waiting, right? So when I see it underneath the Hermit, it's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to wait over here. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. I'm just going to sit and wait and allow this to do whatever it does. I kind of like that vibe because it's not forcing anything. Remember, the Three of Wands is a card of manifestation, of course, like thoughts become things, you attract things to you. It's a very magnetic type of vibe. But the Three of Wands can sometimes like just sit and wait too long. It could get a little stagnant, right? And I'm not saying any of you are in that vibe. Like I said, I feel like if anything, a lot of the Tauruses are in this vibe. But this card can also represent something that is imminently on its way, right? So when I see the Hermit, energy that's laid back in the cut, they're both looking at the same exact thing from totally different perspectives. With the Three of Wands, it's like, oh yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Here they come. Whatever it is, right? Or whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, it's like, yeah, no, just you don't gotta do anything. You just gotta just let it do what it's gonna do. You gotta let it come in. So there is this beautiful magnetic energy on the back end. And in life, sometimes we chase, and then sometimes in life we attract. This energy all over seems to be like it's trying to pull energy in, or it is. So that's another thing I've been seeing with earth signs. So I think it's good for the most part. It really depends on what your situation is. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. There's some really fantastic stuff, but there's some nuances too, right? Like we have the Lady Luck and the Ten of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles. There's great stuff. But if we look here in the box, position number one, we got the Queen of Swords with the Eight of Swords in reverse. Very unbothered type of energy where it's like, nope, I'm just going to let that roll off my back. Nope, not letting that bother me. Nope, not giving that attention. That's the energy I'm picking up here. For some of you, that might be good because it's like, if I can't control that, so I'm not going to waste time on that. I'm not going to waste energy on that. This could also be a very low tolerance for BS in this time. Whether that's from you or somebody else. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm not playing around, not messing around, game over type of vibe. In the center, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Six of Cups in reverse here. So like it's odd because we have the energy looking towards new, but then we have an energy returning or popping back up. Now, it could be a good time for some Tauruses to revisit things, revisit an idea, whether it's a business, whether it's a connection, whatever. Revisit something that you've tried in the past from a different angle could be really good for a lot of Tauruses when I see that, because there is this energy that loops back around, or at least tries to. But there could also be this one energy that is refusing to indulge in that. Moving to the back end, we have the Hermit with the Three of Wands, very magnetic, where it's like, yeah, I'll just wait for it to come to me. It's like, oh, here it comes. I'm just going to let the energy do what it's going to do. I'll wait. I'll be patient. So I think that's cool for the most part. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get your shadow card out. What do we got for Taurus, please? I don't know why that energy is so unbothered. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, even in the shadow, so it's like all the supplementary cards we've done, the very first oracle, the bonus card, and even the shadow card are all super, super positive, right? The Ten of Cups is right up there with the Ten of Pentacles. It's usually emotional fulfillment, it's everything, it's a wish fulfillment card. So I am still a very firm believer that a lot of Tauruses have a lot of beautiful energy just coming towards them in a magnetic fashion, which is really good. But the only downside to the Ten of Cups, and we'll talk about the shadow side of it, it can speak about very intense, uncontrollable emotions. Because remember, it does have 10 full cups. These are big feelings. And sometimes it's harder to deal with those. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. So it's interesting that we had an energy on the front that was very much unbothered, but underneath the surface, we have a lot of big feelings. The only other downside to the Ten of Cups is sometimes it's an energy that can be overly indulgent. So if there are certain things, certain behaviors that you've been trying to step back from or trying to refrain from, this could be temptation. So watch out for temptation in this time, Taurus. But we're just going to leave it at that, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice. The winners, which will be 3, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.